Welcome to another episode of Black Atlas Goings On. My name is Kenny, aka Black Atlas, and the next video that we are going to be doing is going to be the next recipe in the frozen to crispy section. In the Ninja Foodi, it is going to be frozen chicken dinner. So let's go ahead and do the usual, go through the ingredients, and then we'll get into these steps. Okay, the ingredients goes as follows. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Then we have 1 small onion, peeled and diced. 1 cup of wild rice. 3 teaspoons of kosher salt, divided. 1 tablespoon of Moroccan seasoning. If I'm pronouncing this right, it is called Ras El Hanout. Or Ras El Hanout. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right at all. So the next ingredient is 3/4 cup of chicken stock. Then we have 2 frozen chicken breasts, 8 to 10 ounces each. And as you can hear, they are frozen. Then we have 12 ounces of green beans cut and trimmed. And I got these from my local Walmart. Then we have 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/4 cup of freshly chopped parsley, and then 1/4 cup of honey mustard. So we are going to go ahead and get this cleaned out. We are going to go ahead and get the Ninja Foodi over here, and we are going to start going through these directions step by step. I'll see you in a few. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get started with these directions. So the first step is to select sear saute and set to high and allow to preheat for 5 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and select sear saute, and then temp is going to be on high. Yep. And then hit start. And we are going to let that preheat for about 5 minutes. Okay, so it is preheated right now. And what we are going to go ahead and do is we are going to go through these steps. And so the second step is after 5 minutes, add 1 tablespoon of oil. Let's go ahead and get that done. And we are also going to add the onion. And then it says stir occasionally for 3 minutes until the onions are fragrant. So I'll see y'all in about 3 minutes. Okay, so the next thing is to do add the wild rice, salt, Moroccan seasoning. So let's go ahead and get that done. Wild rice mix. Then 2 teaspoons of salt. And then the Moroccan seasoning. And let's get the stirring. And it says, cook stirring frequently until the rice is coated with oil and very shiny, and then add the chicken stock and stir to incorporate. So I will see y'all when it's time to incorporate the chicken stock. Okay. I don't know if you can tell, but I can. The rice is now shiny and covered with the oil. So I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken stock and stir to incorporate it. Okay, let's get the chicken stock added. It is very fragrant. That Ras El Hanout. You can definitely smell the cinnamon in it. Wow, it smells amazing. All right, so that is incorporated. So we are going to turn this off now, because in a few we are going to use the pressure lid. So we are going to place the frozen chicken breast on the reversible rack, making sure the rack is in the higher position. And then we're going to place the rack inside the pot over the rice. So let's go ahead and get that done. Okay, so we have the frozen chicken breast placed on the reversible rack, and it's in the higher position. And we have the rack in the pot over the rice. So it says assemble the pressure lid, making sure the pressure valve release is on the seal position. So let's go ahead and get that done. Okay, so we are going to assemble the pressure lid, making sure the valve is on seal. Then we are going to pull you around front so you can see what we're doing on the front of it. So we are going to go ahead and select start to turn it on. Then we are going to select pressure. And then once we select pressure, it is set to high. And then we are going to set the time to 22 minutes. And then we are going to start it. And then it is going to go ahead and build up pressure. And I will see y'all in a little while for the next steps. Okay, so the timer has gone off. And it says when the pressure cooking is complete, allow pressure to naturally release for 10 minutes. Then after 10 minutes, quickly release the remaining pressure by turning the pressure valve to vent. And then carefully remove the lid when the unit has finished. And then it also says, make sure while the chicken is releasing or cooking to toss the green beans in a bowl with the remaining oil, salt, and pepper. So let's go ahead and get that done and let them sit while we're waiting for it to release. Okay, we got the green beans. We are going to go ahead and put the oil on there. Then we are going to go ahead. Let's go ahead and get the salt. And the pepper put on there. And let's go ahead and get them tossed. They are tossed and you can see the seasoning throughout. So we will let them sit while the pressure goes ahead and continue to release. And then we will get them moving on to the next step. Okay, so we did go ahead and let the pressure release naturally for 10 minutes and then let the pressure release by switching the valve over. So let's go ahead and get that taken off. And I will bring y'all in so you can see what is going on. I'm going to take the chicken breast out because we're going to get that brushed with the honey mustard. So I'll go ahead and bring y'all in. Okay, I know the chicken doesn't look too appetizing right now, and then the spots that the chicken dripped on the rice don't look too appetizing either. But we're going to move on to the next step, and hopefully that changes after we put the honey mustard sauce on and get stuff stirred up. So the next step is lift the reversible rack out of the pot, which we already did. Then stir the parsley into the rice and then add the green beans directly on top of the rice. So let's get that done. So the rice is not sticking to the pot at all, which I was surprised. It definitely still smells amazing though. And I'll spread it out a little bit more so I can get these green beans in here. The rice feels soft. Okay, let's go ahead and get these green beans put in there. Okay, the green beans are in there. So what we are going to do is we are going to grab a brush and brush the chicken breast on all sides with the honey mustard sauce. Then we are going to return the reversible rack back to the pot over the rice and beans. So I'm going to get the rack in, then I'm going to brush the chicken. That way, once I do the bottom, I can go ahead and flip them over and put them back on the rack and then do the top while it's on the rack. And then we'll show you what it looks like before we close the lid. We got the green beans under the chicken, and then we got the chicken put back on the rack. So it says to close the crisping lid. And sorry for the dustiness on the top. It's just slightly dusty. And so we are going to close the crisping lid and then select broil. And then we are going to select 10 minutes and then hit start. Okay, so we will see y'all in about 10 minutes. Okay, so the timer just went off. Let's go ahead and pop that open. And it definitely got a little bit darker in color. Looks pretty delicious. So let's go ahead and temp it. Into the thickest part of the breast. Okay, so it is not at 165 yet. The highest I have gotten was 153. So we are going to close this back, hit the broil button again, and then we are going to set the timer. We're going to hit the broil button again, and then set the timer for another 5 minutes. So I will see y'all back in a few. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get this open back up. And it still looks pretty good. It's definitely a little bit darker for being on broil for an extra 5 minutes. But we need to make sure that the temperature is where it needs to be. So let's go ahead and get that done. Okay, here we go. 167, 171, 169. Okay, so it is up to temp. So I will go ahead and get these chicken pieces taken out and on a cutting board. And then I will get everything else out. And once I get it on a presentable platter, and yes, this platter will have aluminum foil on there because I do dishes here, not you. So we will get everything taken out and on a presentable platter, and then we will show you what it looks like and get that taste test in action. All right, let's go ahead and recap what we did. We went ahead and put the oil and the onions in there and sauteed that for about 3 to 5 minutes. And then we put in the rice and salt, pepper, and then the Moroccan seasoning. And then we go ahead and mix that up till the rice was shiny. And then we put in the chicken stock, and then we stirred that up. Then we put the chicken on the rack and put that on top. Then we pressure cooked that for 22 minutes. After that, 10-minute release naturally, and then release the rest of the pressure with the valve. Then after that, we mixed up the green beans with the remaining oil, salt, pepper, got them on top of the rice. After we mixed the parsley in with the rice, cover the chicken with the honey mustard sauce. Now, it's said to have it in there under broil for 10 minutes, but as we saw, it was not up to temperature. So we had to put it in there for an extra 5 minutes. So after that, it came up to temperature and everything is done. And this is what everything looks like. So we will go ahead and get that taste test in now. We will start with the rice. The rice is actually definitely soft. That rice has really good flavor. That Moroccan spice comes through. And that Moroccan spice definitely has a bunch of warm spices in there. One that's up at the forefront is definitely cinnamon. You can definitely taste that. Tastes like a little bit of clove is in there as well. I don't know. Who knows? But there's definitely cinnamon in there. So that rice turned out really good. Let's go ahead and try the green beans. The green beans definitely have some crunch to them. You can taste the salt and pepper coming through, so they have good flavor. I do like the green beans like that. I don't like them all mushy. So they taste good too. Let's go ahead and taste the chicken. What piece do I want? Actually, I'll go right here. And the chicken is definitely tender and juicy. I could tell as I was pushing the fork through it to pick it up. All right, now once I'm tasting it, it is a bit dry. And I'm assuming that is because we had to put it in there for an extra 5 minutes. Now, let me see if all of it is dry. Let me take a piece from down here. No, that piece isn't dry. So maybe I got like a little end piece. The honey mustard gives a good flavor. That's pretty much the only seasoning that you put on there, because when you put it in there, it's frozen and you don't put any kind of oil or salt or pepper on it. So the honey mustard is its only flavor, but it does taste good. So all in all, that is definitely a good recipe. All in all, that is a good recipe. I definitely do like that. And that has been frozen chicken dinner in the Ninja Foodi. So my name is Kenny, aka Black Atlas, and make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe. We're around 90 subscribers right now, so thank you all. We're trying to get to that 100 mark, so help me get there, and I appreciate y'all. So until the next video, I'll catch y'all on the flip side.